Yo boys, we're back at it again with another video, tucked in like a gentleman. Coffee, it's like instant espresso. We call it what it is. This isn't, this isn't the OP setup with the entire funjin, which means pot in Arabic, of coffee. That's the best, but we gotta do what we gotta do. But you're here for a very specific reason, and that reason is lackluster. Okay, with one mental shift, I legitimately 10x the conviction that I lacked my entire life and my confidence. And we're talking about real confidence, not the one that's like bravado. Like when people think of confidence, they think of arrogance. Real confidence is grounded in humility. And you want to know the greatest way of doing that is, and why most people don't have it nowadays? And it ain't a coincidence. Spirituality. People have no idea. Cultivating the spirit within you is everything, because it literally goes into everything. With conviction, people fail to realize conviction, believing, has to come from moments where nobody believes in you. Confidence has to come from a specific spot where yes, things are going right, but it's because you've realized and you've witnessed and you've lived through things going incorrectly. There is no up without down. The reason why the ups are so great and why people typically, once they're super confident or have conviction or good things start happening in their lives, it tends to snowball in that direction, is the same exact reason why snowballs the other direction. And it's just because those things start to breed its momentum. You start stacking good stuff on one another, you just almost continuously just skyrocket. And the graph honestly looks like this, but everything is spiritual. And this is something I'm seeing that's so missing from today's just way of life. Nobody has spirituality because everyone just thinks everything in self-absorption. What am I getting out of this? What about me? What about like, I'm this, I'm that. Why am I not happy? Why am I? That's the opposite of spirituality. Spirituality is doing things beyond yourself. You have to get out of your own body sometimes in your head. And when I say that, it's so funny because everything you realize, like when you talk about hitting a certain level where you can see things a bit more clearly, you start to realize that everything sounds contradictory in nature, but it's not. It's the fine line that everybody's after. And the fine line is a bit contradictory at times, but it's actually just a rhythm of being. People don't realize this, but when I say everything is spiritual, and the reason why I thought about this is because inside Crusadia, someone mentions like, hey, like I would like to have a spirituality tab, right? Where like there's basically a channel that we can just talk about these things and everything's being segmented off. I just need to make sure that we have structure in the right places. But it was so difficult for me to be able to do this because everything is spiritual. When I go hit the gym, it's a spiritual thing for me. When I'm eating food, it's spiritual. When I'm hanging out with friends, family, girls, it's spiritual. You have to take that with you everywhere you go, and spiritual is the human spirit. This is why I tell you guys all the time, when you have something that you in your own head know it, and it doesn't come around often, but once you find it, there's nothing like it on earth where you're like, I'm willing to sacrifice myself for whatever the mission is at hand. That's how much I believe in this. It's because you're so outside of how you feel. And what about me? Am I getting enough sleep? And by the way, I just woke up and I thought in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna go right into it. I woke up, I felt extra spiritual, My human spirit is absolutely just, it's burning wicked hot right now. And it's because I'm looking at it and I'm like, we have a legitimate way of changing lives from beginner all the way till the end. It takes time. But when you can see the vision, you can finally see the walkway, you realize that. And it's crazy, but the moment me shooting this, I'm still in first week of launch. And there's so many things in your head, and I'll be honest with you, there was probably 3 of the days this week where I'm like losing my mind. And everyone else is happy, keep in mind. I'm looking at everyone's the interaction and energy is second to none. We've had a couple calls, we have a couple fireplace calls, and in reality, most people are like, dude, we're killing it out here. But to me, when I see that, it's a spiritual thing, the reason why I react in a way where it's like, we have to do more, we have to do more. And it's because when you can see it, you understand like, I'm not here to just be like, oh, is everyone happy? Cool. There's more to it. It's about giving a shit so much about everyone besides yourself. This is the root of happiness. Happiness doesn't come from not suffering and sipping, a nice lemonade, orange juice at the beach and being like, oh yeah, we're living. That's pleasure. Happiness is something so much different. Happiness comes from giving. giving more than you think you're capable of and watching it just almost blossom from a seed into the ground into a beautiful tree. There's nothing like it. I take God with me everywhere I go. It's actually how it's so funny. I used to have I say this, but a legitimate, I have a food problem. And a part of that problem is I was so addicted to taste and how my taste buds were. And it's so funny, but once I started looking at it from a spiritual lens, it's like, well, I need food to nourish my spirit, to nourish my body, nourish my mind, because I push everything every single day. If you guys are new here, we have a rule, and it's called emptying the energy clip on a daily basis. You give everything you got to your day. And emptying the energy clip isn't like running around with your, like a chicken with its head cut off. It's not any of that. What it is specifically is pouring your heart out into everything that you do. No matter what you're doing, you give everything you got. Like, this is the only thing I have for the rest of my life. When I work out inside the gym, it's like, if this were the only set I was allowed to do inside the gym today, how far would I take it? And I think of it as the same thing with the meal. If this is the meal that's gonna get me back to operating at my best, how beautiful would I make that meal? And of course, listen, I'm a fat kid at heart. I'm gonna make sure the taste is on point with seasonings and all of it. And that's not the point, but when you're coming from a foundation of the spirit, you have no idea how much your confidence and conviction skyrockets. Because let me tell you something, most of your life is gonna be done in I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna turn out. I have no clue how this is all gonna go. And you're sitting by yourself on this island. I'm not actually on an island. Pretty cool how that worked out, but you're sitting by yourself and you have to wrestle with these feelings, and people are looking to give them the conviction themselves. And you have to sit there and no one quite understand what you're going through. And that's when you start realizing you need good people that also have that spirit within them. Because what happens is everyone just starts to notice it. And this is coming from someone that's a lone wolf most of his life. Like, naturally just a lone wolf. I'd hang out with people, but I was always very much like, I'm kind of in a world of my own kind of deal. Like, I'm by myself here. Yeah, I talk to people, but I'm by myself. And sense understanding, when you get along with people that see things from the foundation of the spirit, you have far different, much higher level conversations that sharpen you in ways that you probably have craved your entire life. Because everything that you should be doing should be talking about this. You should not be doing anything that doesn't enhance this. And this is why I always laugh when people are talking about, oh bro, oh yeah, it must be easy having, big shoulders and big biceps, dude. Like, oh, I could take roids too if I could. Do you understand how stupid this line of thinking is? Why would I ever in my life spiritually cuck myself by injecting something to give me a feature? This is the point. The reason why I'm able to get these type of allegations on a regular basis, and I'll be honest with you, the first time it happened, I thought people were making fun of me. Yeah, people were saying like, oh yeah, we're on steroids. Like, I'd be like, all right, bro, okay, I'm working hard out here. You don't gotta shit on me. But then when I started realizing it became a thing where it's like, oh, he is, it started making me chuckle, because I realized, I'm like, I think the moment that happened was the moment I got into the best shape of my life after snapping my finger, and I just purposely got fat, and it was a self-sabotage mission. And it's just because I was pissed off at everything. And then I realized the thing that was missing in my life that I had from my earlier years that I kind of forgot along the way was God and the Spirit. And the reason I don't like preaching, for me, everyone always asks me like, hey, how much does God have a big part of what you do? He has everything. It's everything. This is the Spirit. This is the Spirit I'm referring to all the time. The reason why I refer to it this way is because sometimes we tend to use it loosely, like God. And although that's how I personally operate, when I say when I operate from the Spirit, it's making Him proud. To give a real glimpse behind that without using it, because most people can't find the right words to say and learn how to actually explain it out, I think it's super helpful to have that. And then it makes you realize why my connection to God is so important. Because it's a straight line right to it once you understand this. But it's the funniest thing ever. Do you think I'd ever spiritually cuck myself by taking a shortcut? You're crazy. This is everything that I have been cultivating my entire life and been trying to find. I'm not joking. The first time I started working out, I was working out for I was working out even through high school, but loosely, fake workouts. Let's catch this arm pump. Biceps and chest, baby. Back-to-back days. That was it. And it was in college. My cousin was like, hey man, let me make you a protein shake. I'm like, no bro, that's cheating. And at the time I didn't know what it meant, but it just felt in my head. I was like, I don't want to drink a protein shake. Isn't that technically cheating or whatever? And then you realize protein shakes are actually probably messing you up even more. If you can have real whole foods, dude, way better. And I can tell you that from now. For me, I've been having a little bit of more like collagen, whey protein, because out here I haven't been getting enough food. My food intake has been extremely low and I just can't get protein enough. So this is where I use the supplements that are supplements, because you're supplementing a goal of protein. And I'll tell you, it's going back to it now, you have me thinking about my diet right now. You know, now I'm thinking about, my God, dude, now my diet's a little bit off and stuff. I'll be honest with you, I've lost a lot of weight, so I look actually way more ripped than normal. Like, if I took off my shirt and showed off my abs, all I'm saying is your boy's coming in lean, shredded, honestly, at this point, okay? I'll say it, I'm proud of myself, okay? So let me have this. But on a real note, think about that. I didn't even want to have a protein shake because I was like, man, like, I don't need to shortcut that. I didn't know what I was trying to say, but I've always had that thing about me where I just understood the bigger picture. Even if I didn't know how to articulate or even why I felt the way I did, it was just instinct. I would never spiritually cuck myself, and I'll never do anything to do so. That's why it's so funny. You almost have to come around full circle to realize, like, at the end of the day, if you're doing something to fill this sucker and you lead with him and you leap and you wear it on your sleeve and you get hurt by it, and even when it hurts you and people take advantage of it because they see, you know, kindness as weakness, or like, you know, I can take advantage, you just realize that those are the people that get everything they want in life. It's the ones that are unrelenting about, this is who I am and I will not compromise. In the best ways. You're stubborn to a fault, but in good ways, with proper intention. This is how I'm able to be as confident as I am. Think about it. The reason why a lot of people lack confidence and conviction is because if they go for something that they believed in and it crushes them, they look at themselves differently, and other people will call that out, and then that just continues the snowball effect all the way down. But you shouldn't look at yourself any differently even if things do go great. And this is where people completely miss the boat. They want to feel like this about themselves when things go great, and they don't want to feel bad about themselves all the way down here when things go south. You have to be detached from the result. This is the ultimate, and I'm gonna have a separate video on this, but story for another day. Detachment is the ultimate form of enlightenment. Whatever happens, happens. Even if things go great, awesome. If things don't go great, awesome. Sounds good. I still have to wake up and do this every single day. So why would the results of what I'm doing matter? The only thing that makes me mad is if I know that internally this is not trending in the right direction, that because my process is false. Now this forces me to come back to the drawing board and make the proper adjustments to make sure we're going in that direction. That takes confidence and conviction to realize, like, hey, my process is broken and I need to fix it. That all comes from a spiritual being. This is how you harness gut instinct. That's all I got in this life is instinct. I'm not saying I'm not remotely intelligent, but that's not my edge. I'm smart enough. I'm intelligent enough. There's people way smarter than me, but what I do got that I know only works for me, because instinct is all personal to the person in terms of where I need to be going and what do I want to do with my life. This is the point. And when you start operating from outside of yourself, it's funny how a lot of you guys who want to make money in the online business space or get a crazy good-looking physique, it starts happening on accident, because then you start thinking about, how do I fill a void? What is the world missing that I can fill? And it could be something as stupid as this tripod that I'm recording on. Someone realized, oh, these people need, you know, not everyone can just, you know, have a videographer around, but maybe they want to have a nice video. Screw it, let's do a tripod because I think it would help people out. Something as stupid as a tripod that I hate that I'm recording on. Say it's soulless, but at the end of the day, it's as funny as it sounds, it's the truth. Someone probably thought outside of themselves, was like, what could help people? This is exactly what I'm doing inside Crusadia, where everyone, and this is why I want to cultivate this country with nationhood and caring about your neighbors and looking to local, because eventually we're going to have people building out businesses of things that we actually need. You know, no one in this group has a quality collagen supplement company, right? Like, I want more collagen, but I don't know where to buy. We can have someone inside Crusadia realize that and be like, hey, I will make sure that obviously, like, this collagen is the best on the market, because there's nothing that's quality. You can find anything, but most of it's garbage. I'm gonna make sure it's super quality, and then that way everyone knows where to grab their collagen from. Now you're filling a void. Something as small as that. You can do bigger things. But point is when you're thinking about how do I fill in the gaps of what we are missing, it's funny how you have a billion business ideas. And the toughest part is then getting people to look at that. But when you have local, when you have neighbors that are cheering for you to win, they're gonna give you feedback that's only going to help out your company. And that way the rest of the world can use it. But it all started from local, because you know you got your local guys just willing to, hey, I'm willing to hammer this out with you. I'm willing to help you out with this. I'm willing to buy from you just because I like you and I like what you're about. It's vetting out people. But think about, that's all this. That's all spiritual. And that's the thing that's missing. That's why no one's confident. No one lacks, and everybody lacks rather, conviction. It's because you're always moving from yourself. And life goes like this. That's how it works. It yo-yos. That's why you feel about yourself in a very yo-yo fashion. Versus the way I feel about myself is irregardless of what happened today. I just know I'm going to wake up and I'm going to give everything I got tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And all I got is now. So why am I thinking about it? If I notice that the ship is not moving where it needs to right now, those are the adjustments I make. And to do anything that compromises your spirit's only going to mess you over and fuck you over on the back end every single time. You have to care more than you even think you should. And to me, that's fulfillment. That's when you get to go to your grave, because we got one life and this life moves fast. Think about it. I snap my fingers and I'm like, how the hell did I get here? And all you'll have is, did I really give everything I got? Did I try to make the world a better place? And did I do that? I can tell you, for me, if God doesn't take me by then, I just know if I live a longer life, of course I'll make that happen. Because there's just no way, when you actually move from the spirit every single day, give everything you got, laying it down on the line, that it won't happen better than you ever expected. And then all you'll do is be happy. Of course, because you realize, like, look at what we've done. Look at how much we've changed things. It doesn't have to be on a massive scale, even on a smaller scale. And that's why having family is so important, in my opinion, you know? And that's why people have so much fulfillment from having families. I'm not saying it always goes great, but it's a great way of just being like, look what I've done with my kids. They're healthy, they're doing good things, God willing, grandkids. And you look at them and you're like, look, man, like, this all happened for me and all the tough times of having to raise these kids, and look at what happened. Suffering is required and you have to let go. It's another video topic we'll get into. But anyways, I appreciate watching this video. Hope this is well worth your time. Coffee talk down the hatch. Only had one sip. That's interesting. But boys, if there's anything you guys want specifically, please, you drop it down in the comments. And if people like those comments, give those a thumbs up, and then I don't make a video on it. I love you guys very much. From Uncle Rami to the Natural Crusaders, to all of the Crusaders inside Crusadia, you are my #1 priority. Always will be. You guys are family to me, man. And I just want to say I love you guys and I appreciate you guys. So anyways, I love you guys. Uncle Rami out. Peace.